Hi, this is Annie Coburn with the Susie Guides. Does this ever happen to you? You meet your friends at a bar to carry on a conversation and the noise level is so loud that you have to scream in order to hear each other. What we really need is an exceptional bar that's conducive to having a conversation or overhearing a conversation. That's fun too. I have with me today the people who can help us find that special bar. David Miller and Kelley Loftus, New York City bar aficionados, to tell us about the best bars here in New York to hear and to be heard. Cheers! Cheers!
The wonderful thing about these bars in New York City, you can not only have a wonderful conversation, you can also overhear one. We'll start at Lower Manhattan, at the Bridge Cafe. It's the oldest continuously running business in New York City. This restaurant and bar on Water Street since 1794. It's a wonderful place. If the owner is there, which he often is, he'll talk to you about his great selection of scotches. The food's good too. And it's in this wonderful old corner building.
It's under the shadow of the Brooklyn Bridge on the Manhattan side. And its claim to fame is that it's in the French Connection, you see it circled several times as one of the worst neighborhoods in Manhattan. It's not like that anymore.
Not at all. From there we would go up to the Upper East Side to the High Life Diner on 78th Street, on 2nd Avenue. It's a more contemporary diner with furnished with the owner's quirky collection, right, of everything from Oriental prints to stuffed swordfish on the wall. Again, a quiet restaurant bar. A good selection of wines and cocktails, and good food as well. Some of the furnishings are from a yacht. The lighting furnishings were taken from the 1930s, from an old yacht that were salvaged by this owner. It's a great place for a conversation. We could go farther uptown to the Upper East Side, to the Café d'Alsace. It's an Alsatian restaurant with a bar. This is where the beer connoisseurs would go. So many beers on tap, and the wait staff is very knowledgeable about all of these beers. And again, being a restaurant, it's a good quiet place. It never gets loud, even later in the evening. You can have a wonderful talk there with a friend. It's a very intimate setting. And again, you can overhear some very interesting conversations. Now we're at the Ear Inn on Greenwich Street and Spring Street. This used to be the Manhattan shoreline. You can see in the background where the ships used to tie up before the island was extended with landfill. It's a wonderful neighborhood bar. It gets a very eclectic crowd. It's again one of the oldest buildings in New York City. It used to be a house. This is the place to go. It's a little bit crowded early in the evening, but it's a great place to spend an afternoon. And again, the neighborhood is so eclectic. You can really hear good conversations here.
This was also a very early business enterprise for an African American at the turn of the century. It was a drugstore, Mr. Taylor's drugstore, and he was a successful African American pharmacist. And some of his old pharmaceutical bottles are still over the bar.
It's a really funny mix of one of the oldest parts of New York City and Greenwich Village, which is known for all of its cultural renovation. You get both of it right here. We just discovered a really cool, very hip place called Fusion Cafe on 10th Avenue at 55th Street. It's a more contemporary lounge. It's really cool. And in the back, there's a garden. The front of Fusion has, they play really cool music, but if you want a nice quiet place, there are no speakers in the garden. We were there early on a Saturday evening and it was very, very laid back atmosphere, very friendly. They serve a lot of cocktails. Some of the cocktails have kind of goofy names. The Leave Your Husband cocktail, that kind of thing.
On 10th Avenue. And there's some nice little places there. Fusion is one of them.
It's a wonderful, wonderful place.
So now we have all the information we need on the bars where we can have a good conversation, where we can hear and be heard. So I'd like to thank David Miller and Kelley Loftus for some great information on New York City bars. Cheers!
Cheers.